You guys, I made the biggest mistake. I regret buying my house. And I'll tell you why owning a house, it isn't freedom. It's a money pit and it's a trap. So if you're thinking about buying a house, especially a new build, you need to hear this before you sign anything. So I want to share some lessons that I've learned the hard way so that when it comes to you buying a house, you'll have a much better experience. And I know that buying a house can be exciting, whether it's a new build or an older home. But being a homeowner is expensive, and there's usually things that you don't know about until after you buy it. Man, was I out of a lot of money. So let's talk about some of the things I wish I would have known before I even considered buying a house. So I bought a house in 2020. It was during COVID. And I got to be honest, that was the biggest financial mistake that I could have ever made. So the first thing that I wish I would have known is that it's an expensive money pit and it's just not worth it. Buying a house can be one of the fastest ways to go broke. It can actually put you deeper into debt. It's just buying a whole set of bills that it's never ending. And secondly, the down payment. I'm going to be real with you. If you don't have 20% down, don't buy a house because if you put less than that, you're stuck with paying a PMI, which is a private mortgage insurance. And that's just extra money every month that's just going into nothing. It's not going towards your house, it's just gone. See, I didn't know that going in. I thought as long as you can cover the down payment, I was good. But PMI added hundreds to my monthly payments for years. Money I could have been investing or just saving, just gone because I didn't have the 20% up front. Then there's all this stuff that they don't tell you about new builds. I bought a new construction home thinking it would be easier. No repairs, everything's basically brand new. Well, I was wrong. New homes, it doesn't come with window treatments at all. No blinds, no shutters, nothing. So you move in and all your windows are just exposed. You need privacy. You have to buy all that stuff yourself. And window treatment, I'm talking anywhere from it can be anywhere from five to $7,000 depending on the size of your house or how many windows you have. And that's not even included in the price of the house. Out of pocket after you already closed. Think about that. Concrete is another one. If you want a patio, a walkway, anything concrete, you're looking at thousands of dollars. I spent well over 20K just for my backyard. And that's not even including material. And a lot of new developments don't include concrete for your backyard. They give you the bare minimum. Anything extra, you're paying for it. Mind you, my house is brand new, so the backyard was nothing but dirt. So it had to be done. And if you're living in a HOA neighborhood, they expect you to have your yard done within a certain time frame. But here's what really got me. The build out cost. The build out cost on new development homes. They show you the model home. It looks perfect. Everything is finished. But that's not what you're getting. You're getting the base, the bare minimum. Everything else is just extra. You want upgraded flooring? That's extra. If you want them to rip out your flooring, that's extra. Want a fence in your backyard? That's extra. Want landscaping? That's not dirt. That's extra. And it all adds up so fast. It's crazy. You think you're buying a $600,000 house, but by the time you add all this shit into what you need, you at 650 to 670 easy. So be sure to include these things when it comes to buying your home. Another thing, solar panels. In California, a new build, they require you to have solar panels. So you either buy them outright or you can lease them. And if you lease them, that's another monthly payment. And here's what they don't tell you. If you don't make your solar panel lease payments, they can put a lien on your home. So now you got another bill that if you miss, your home is at risk. Another thing I wish I had have known, I wish I would have known about property taxes when I bought my house. My property taxes were one amount. A few years later, they went up and they keep going up like every year. So even if I pay off my mortgage completely, I'm still paying the government every year just to keep my house. When you stop paying taxes on your home, guess what? The bank can take it. So you never truly own your home, even when it's paid off. It's just a never ending game. But here's the part that really blindsided me. Property taxes after build out, when you buy a new build, your initial property taxes is based on the land value only, not the house, just the land. So your property taxes, it looks low at first, your monthly payments look manageable, and you think that's what you're paying. But then the house gets finished, the county comes in, they reassess the property with the full value of the home, and that's when everything changes. Man, your property tax jumps significantly. And if your mortgage payments include escrow, which most do, your lender realizes they didn't collect enough money to cover the new tax bill. So they raise your monthly payments to cover the shortage, plus the higher taxes going forward. That's how people suddenly see their payments go up from 200 to 400, even 600 a month. Man, and then you're sitting there confused because your interest rate didn't change. Like nothing changed, but your payment went up anyway, which can be from the shortage or it can be from the tax. This is extremely common with new builds, but they don't emphasize it. They advertise the lower initial payment, the lower tax rate to make it look affordable, but the higher tax, it comes after you've closed. Technically, it's disclosed, but it's buried underneath the fine print. So buyers, just beware, read your fine print. So you move in thinking that you can afford your payment, right? Then a year later, boom, your payment jumps and now you're scrambling to try to figure out how you're going to cover it. It's not a new tax. It's the same property tax, just finally calculated correctly after the build out. But it feels like you got hit with something out of nowhere because nobody explained it up front. Boy, was I confused. Insurance is the same thing. My homeowner insurance, it has gone up every single year. Not because I filed a claim or anything, nothing happened. That's just what it does. And if you're in a certain area of California, like a fire zone area, good luck with even finding affordable coverage. And if so, it's triple the price. The thing I like about renting, if something breaks, you can call a landlord. It's their problem. When you own, everything is your problem. The AC goes out in the middle of the summer, that's 5,000. The heating goes out, that's another 3,000. The water heater stops working, that's another few thousands. And it's not like you can decide not to fix it because it's your house. So now you're pulling from your savings account that you were trying to build, or you're putting it on a credit card, or you're just scrambling to figure out how to cover something that you didn't budget for. Nobody tells you that part though. It's extremely expensive. They just tell you to buy a house because it's an investment. I don't see where the investment is because or they tell you because you're going to build equity. Because if you rent, you're just throwing money out of the window. But they didn't tell you that you were going to constantly keep throwing money at your house just to keep it functional. When you rent, you can leave whenever the lease is up. You're not tied down. But when you own, you're just stuck. And if your job situation changes, if you need to relocate, you can't just go. You got this house tying you down. I can tell you right now, I want to move right now, but I'm stuck right now. And one thing about owning a house, you start making decisions based on just keeping the house. You stay in jobs that you hate because you need the income just to cover the mortgage. You don't take risks because what if you can't pay your bills? You don't invest in yourself or your business because the house comes first all of a sudden. So, yeah, you own a house, but in a lot of ways, the house owns you. And I'm not saying renting is perfect. I'm not saying home ownership is bad for everyone. I'm just saying that it's not what people make it sound like. It's not this automatic win. It's not financial freedom at all. A lot of the times, it's quite the opposite. I thought buying a house meant I was building something, and maybe I am. But I'm also trapped in ways that I wasn't before. And I don't think people prepare you for that. So if you're thinking about buying a house, really think about it. Not just can you afford the mortgage, but can you afford everything else? Can you afford to be tied down? Can you afford to have your money going to repairs, taxes, and insurance instead of investments and or experiences or building something else. So, again, if you're thinking about buying, especially a new build, ask about everything. Do your research. What's included? What's not? How much is concrete? What does the yard look like before you even move into it? How much is it going to be? And ask what your property taxes are going to be after reassessment, not what they are now. Because if you don't ask, you're going to find out the hard way, like I did. And if you don't have that 20% down, please reconsider seriously. That PMI is going to eat at you every single month. I'm not saying don't buy a house though. I'm just saying know what you're actually getting into, because I didn't. And that's why I regret it. Because once you buy, you're in it, and getting out is harder than getting in, believe me. So let me know if you dealt with this, drop it in the comments, and hopefully this will help someone avoid making the same mistakes that I did. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.